Today I'd like to improve my dragon tree plant. I have a Madagascar dragon tree, a Dracena, I'll have to put the name on the screen, marginata I think it is. And it is looking very pathetic and poorly. And I am going to pull it apart. Plus, I'm going to try to root some extra pieces. And right there is the tree. Let me swivel it around a little bit. And this is what the tree looks like. You can see it's in very pathetic shape. Get a little closer. Spots right here, the fan on the top, whatever you call that. It's like, I don't know, in decent shape, but these parts are droopy. And a whole lot of them have fallen off. Now the spots in the top are still nice and spiky, but I think these kind of look bad. And you can see how long it is. It kind of comes out of the ground a little bit crooked. And there were two in the same pot when I got them. And that one has gotten to be a little bit crooked. This one on this side. Its top, see, I think you can see that there. It kind of lays to the side. And there is its little broom top. So what I'm going to do today is pull those all apart, and we're going to cut and propagate. So let's see what we're going to be working with. I'm going to pull it out of the pot to see. Now this is a pot with drainage. It's got a big hole in it, right there. Now let me pull it out. Okay. There we go. Okay. We can look at the roots. I don't know. They don't look really good. They look horrible, but they don't look good. I would have expected to see a lot moving toward the bottom, but I'm going to pull them apart and kind of pry them to see exactly what's going on, because I want to know if I'm dealing with root rot or just I don't water them enough. I'm just pulling extremely gently. This one looks like the one with the lesser root. You can see that much. Oh, look at that root. This one is like, I don't know if you can tell from sight, but that one's like a deflated straw. So I don't know what that means. This one on this side is, I don't know, they're real dry. I don't know if you can hear that papery feeling, but they're very deflated. They look terrible. So I'm going to freshen the soil, and then we're going to propagate. See, there's one of the stems right there, just about, or sorry, I should say, leaf is just about to fall off. That's all it takes to get rid of it. So anyway, these are only about the size maybe of a, I don't know, a thick pencil. But we're going to cut those. We're going to make something new and different. But let me get a slightly bigger pot. This pot is pretty big. It's a nice huge pot. The drain hole was not like blocked, but who knows? Let me see. Now this is the pot I've decided to go with. It is a clay pot that I'm not sure what you call it. It's been glazed with this white stuff and then imprinted with leaves. And it also does have drainage there in the bottom. Hopefully you can see that. But that's what I want to use. It's not substantially of a different size, just wider. And it's very heavy. So if I should want this to be a floor plant, I think that would be a good candidate. So I'm going to get fresh soil for this, and then we'll start the cutting up. Now on this longer portion, these parts of the root that are so papery, I think I'm going to trim them off. I'm going to assume that they have died, and so I just want to get rid of them because these larger parts look real full. They're not thin, papery. He's a little papery feeling on this end, right there. Hopefully this won't hurt him. That's a bad piece. Maybe that part means where it got papery, it sent out new roots to come out on the side. But the rest of these feel pretty good. They're just kind of growing in circles. Okay, so for this one, I want to cut it. And these segments here, if you cut between those segments, then like from here to here is where roots will grow out under that collar. So you just need to cut in between. So if I want this piece, for instance, to grow a new little spot here where it will split into 2 branches, 3 branches growing up, I think cutting right there might work. And there's my cut on the end. Okay. Now this portion, I think I'm going to cut another piece of it so that I can root it also. And I'm going to lay it down top to bottom. And then this I want to root also. Now I don't know if that will straighten up eventually or not. I'm going to yank some of the leaves off to give it a better start. But I think he looks fairly healthy, even though he does still have some droopy leaves. But that would be 3 to go on that particular segment. Now I think that I will take this segment and I'll put it in water to see if it'll grow. I brought these bottles out. Let me see. That should work. I'll try that. And I'll put that in my treated water. So that would be 1 section for in this pot, plus another section. If I get to put this in here for it to grow and split, and then I'm going to try 1 in there to see if it'll grow, and then the other will be in water. And once it gets roots, I will put it down in there, and then we'll have 3. So I want to do the same thing with the other. So that'll be this one. And I basically will do exactly the same thing. Let's take this one and hope that I can get some growth. I'll start from the top on this one. I'm going to pull that leaf off, and then let me pull it up. If I get it to root, let's say right there, that's it. And we don't want any of these to get down low on the stem as we try to root it. So you just kind of yank those straight down and they come off. And then I'm going to put that into the water. And then this portion will be exactly the same thing. I'll cut it just about, I'm going to try right here. There we go. Now, I'll let these sit here just a little while, maybe an hour or so, to dry. And then we'll get everything potted right back up with some fresh soil. Okay, I've got these 2 in my treated and conditioned water. And we're going to let these try to root. I won't let them last more than, I'll say 2 weeks at the most, and we'll see what happens. And I'll just put this over here under the lights. Now my cuttings are going to be on this table underneath a regular grow light lamp next to my ZZ plant. And you can see the amount of shadow that is cast. So it's a decent amount of light. Keeps the ZZ happy. Now we're going to get these planted. I've got a little piece of screen. You probably can't even see that, but that's going to go over the hole in the bottom. Same for this one. So I got both in there. And now I am going to put fresh soil down into the pot. And I'm using this well-draining bonsai soil that I have. It's worked real well for some of my other plants. So I want to use that for this use. In there real good. The same for that one. There. Now at this point, I want to use, let's see, is this the larger? Or is this the larger? No, this one's the smaller. So I'm going to put that in this one. Now I want to try and keep the stem real straight in there. And this will be offset. I don't know if you can tell. Let me swivel this. It's going to be offset a little, so I can get all 3 of the stems in here, at least if that's what I end up doing. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle the rest of the soil down into here. And I'm going to use some of my biotone to stimulate root growth. So let me go get that. Okay, I've got the biotone. I'm going to put biotone in this. And I understand this is for good root development, And I really want this to develop some good roots. So I'm going to put a nice handful down in there. Well, in both of them. Hopefully this may fix some of the damage that was done on this plant. And then I'm just going to fill it on up. I think that looks good. I just kind of want to settle it down on those roots that I've spread out in there. Try to keep a straight up okay, I hope that'll shake it down into the root. Now I'm kind of filling this up close to the top. Give it another shake. There, that looks like it's settled in. There. And then I'll still have room to put the other pieces in this other side. Let me see. How about this one? That root tone down in there, or biotone. Now, this one's going right back into the same planter, but hopefully I can freshen up all of those roots and make them revived again with all that rooting hormone. Let me give this one a shake. A little more. Now, I think that looks good. All right. Now, I shall, let's see, I'm going to poke a hole. I went to the kitchen, it's closer, and I'm just going to poke a hole down here to put the other stick down and see. We'll put one there and one there, that there will be three. So let me just make a hole for this one. And let me see, based on size, I think I'll do this shorter one over here. So we've got the down end and the up end, and I'll just kind of secure that in straight up, and then do the same for this one. There it goes. Now, and now there's my plant. It looks really pathetic right now, but I'm hoping when the roots come that we'll have a decent looking plant. And I'm going to only give this, I really don't want to risk them rotting or anything like that. I'm just going to give it a short bit of time, maybe a week, as many as 2 weeks. But this will go down in, and create the triangle. But I'm hoping these will go ahead and root and branch. So that's what I've done with this one. Let me put this back over in the light. These are going to go outside. I think it being almost at the end of May, that these should do well outside, and I'm going to water them out there so I can make the mess outdoors. So I'm going to take them out. It's evening, The shade is already over the house, so I don't need to worry about them getting sunburnt today. Okay, I've got them carried outside, and I'm going to water with my treated water. And I kind of want to go slow and carefully because I don't want it to run through and go out the bottom. At least not until it's fairly well soaked, that soil. I'm going to have to kind of keep a good eye on them since they'll be out in the open out here in the weather. I want to keep the soil at least moist here in the beginning. Okay, let me do the other one. Looks good. Oh, yep, it's starting to soak through. You can see down underneath. It's trying to soak through already. So I will just keep putting some more in until I make sure I've got it well soaked. I think I might even put a drip tray until I can make sure that it is absorbing the water. Because you saw how dry those roots were, and I have probably erred on the side of too little as opposed to too much. Okay, now both of them, the water's running out through the bottom. Yeah, pretty much. So I'm going to let that, I'm going to get a tray to put under it. Got them both fixed up. And then try a little more of my treated water. You know how I mix this. I'll put the video and link those things under the video. Let's just give them a tiny bit more. Just in case there's any kind of like water repellent feature that's still being experienced by that soil. I want to make sure that it gets a good dose. So I'll probably leave this like for the next hour or so. And then I'll let whatever is excess run off. Looks wonderful. So now my dragon tree is going to be out for the summer, hopefully alive. And within a couple of weeks, I hope I have roots on the other portion that'll go in here. And in those 2 weeks, maybe I'll show some tiny buds at the top coming out. We'll just keep a real close eye and see what emerges from the top. And I hope it's a couple of little arms, like a saguaro cactus. Let's keep our fingers crossed. But these are outside. Now I will keep them in the shade for, let's say, the next week. I'll make sure that they don't get direct sun. But then after that, you're on your own, bubbies. Let's see some growth. But thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video.